For me, to be my witness is to testify to how God has been present to me and my family throughout the generations. To know how God was with my family in very difficult times, that is a tremendous source of strength for me. And it's so important to remember how God has been present so that when I'm in a hard time, it's not just about that moment, but it's about the big picture of how God has been present to me, to my parents, to my grandparents, and their parents before them. It's about testifying to who God is, to what His gospel is for us. And this is something I think that we as Armenians can do really well because God has been present to us in every generation. I think one of the most rewarding ways I experience God's blessings is when I'm able to share something about our tradition with our people and I see that the light bulbs go off. You see the connections being made and someone coming to an understanding of an aspect of our shared faith that they were unaware of before. When I see people make these connections and I know that this will stay with them forever, that's one of the greatest rewards.
When I step into the sanctuary, it's truly an experience like no other. And when I talk to some of my friends, some of my non-Armenian friends, they say just how incredible it is that you go to church every week, and it's just it's a feeling that I can't really explain.
In our Armenian culture, I think community and connection is part of the definition of our church. It is how I was raised and one of the things that encourages me to go back. Because to me, when I worship in a group, it feels almost more rewarding. That allows you to grow together and worship together and continue to grow in the faith. We learned that we should go forward and be the light for others, and that really has impacted me and continued to keep me involved as I grew up in the church.
I've gotten so much from it, whether it be sitting in the badarak or listening to my pastor, hearing sermons, hearing other clergymen. It's just in my genes, it's just who I am.
It's truly about leading through example, living Christ's example through love, action, serving others, doing good works. Those moments in time really made me understand that I have a role to play as a witness and as a true role model.
The question of what it means to be a Christian witness or a Christian martyr is more relevant today than ever in our recent history. How do we actually know that God is God, that Christ is God? In Armenian Christian witnessing, we bring in the idea of the illumination of Christ in our words and deeds, but most importantly, this element that develops is the question of anzin ishchanutun. That is the agency of the human person that can make a choice, that can say that I have actually personally experienced Christ. So as a Christian today, witnessing, we are tapping into the reality of the resurrection of Christ. And a person who's experienced that power, you can't contain that. That's the reality of what it means to live a full life.
We have the opportunity to bear witness to Christ, to His gospel, and to God's faithfulness to us in those hard moments. We all go through hard times. We all go through suffering. And if we can, in those moments, proclaim God's faithfulness and exhibit our trust in Him truly, I think this is an opportunity to be a martyr in the modern world. There is a theme among our people, Arajnord, I'm not worthy. And I've heard this repeated over and over and over. And when it comes to being a witness, each of us is called to be a witness. Each of us is called to be a light in the world, a light of Christ. And it doesn't matter whether we are 2 years old, 99 years old, whether we are well-known, whether many people will never know our name. We are equally called to bear witness. And this is the richness and beauty of our church.